That being said, on the earth there is great disagreement, and many people have been misled into all kinds of differences, not just amongst those who call themselves Muslims, but amongst the Christians and the Jews and many of the other communities. Each community has its people who are trying to openly be upon the truth. And this is the point where all of us upon the light who have begun to change and recognize the signs need to start expressing with love, without pressure, right? Without arrogance, without too much overbearing and too much drama. I mean, I do things here with drama and with flair for a reason, but with those who you love in your family, recognizing that people will come to the truth on their own. The best you can do is be a reminder. And the best way to remind people is to tell them a story of the ancients, a story of your forefathers, a story of your mother and father, or a story of your own experience. And that's what we've been doing here in a certain way, according to a certain methodology. And so, knowing that there are going to be disagreements, we've gone to go over some of the recaps, right? Which is, we talked about the fact that you have been created divinely by the hand of your Lord Most High, and that all of you have a soul and free will to make your choice. And as soon as you choose, the pathway is open for you. And we talked about some concepts of people ascending to the higher realms. And we talked about the personal concepts of the Markaba. But we said now we are getting to a time of global ascension. And we said we're talking about now the time of the final messenger. And everything about his messengership has to be global in nature and not just individual. And so we said now we're trying to figure out what is the pattern and frequency and harmony of the entire world to lift the vibration of the entire earth. Because we said we're talking about trying to lift the vibration of the entire earth and make the global change in a massive way. And people who are out there, who are in the spiritual enlightenment community or Ascension community or even the UFO disclosure community, are talking about a coming event, an inevitable moment in time, is it? Or is it an inevitable moment in light? An inevitable moment in the consciousness field, a moment where the pattern of life, the flower of life, the flower of light spreads over all of the earth and forces it to rise up. Is it that beings from other worlds are descending to us? Or is it that we are going to rise up and ascend to them? Well, we said if there's a difference in how people saw the ascension of Jesus, that those who saw the ascension were those who were spiritually at a higher level. And we said that the ascension of the Prophet Muhammad happened and he went and came back, and those who had the highest faith, those who called themselves a Siddiq, believed straight away and didn't have any doubts. And those who didn't understand and couldn't believe mocked. And now we are saying that in this spiritual understanding, there are those who are seeing the patterns in different ways and trying to understand things at different times. And everybody has free will. Now, what many upon the earth have been misunderstanding in their communication and in their channeling with beings from other realms, both within, above, and below, is that the beings both above and below are not gods. Yes, sometimes in the English, we use the letter G-O-D in the small, minuscule, as they'd say, font. But still, that term is very, very inappropriate. In Arabic, the term we use is Khalifa, the vicegerent. Still a bad term, vicegerent, not reflecting the true essence. But the one who the Lord Most High has molded to be that person. And we said, if you remember the very beginning of this story, that this was about a challenge of a very large concept. This was about a challenge of whether the sons of Adam and the race of Adam, those which we call human, were worthy of this highest status. Remember the story way back in the beginning? And so now when we are talking about the changes of ourselves, we have to realize that the brothers and sisters above us or below us are also beings that have free will and are trying to discern based on what they understand of the reflection and vibration and pattern when is the appropriate moment. And that being said, we have talked about the coming Nasara, those who are following the Christed light messenger to the other planets. And we talked about the concept of the ascension of the actual Prophet Muhammad and how his migration reflected a new age, a new time on the earth, and a new empire of Islam or submission to the light that the final messenger was allowed to establish on a large scale, and a changing of the actual calendar of the whole Muslim world. And we also talked about the fact that that migration is connected to the ascension of the earth, and that as he migrated believers from the holy city Mecca to the city of light Medina, a brotherhood was conducted between the two groups in love and unity. And we talked about that concept being promoted amongst those of the benevolent races who are talking about first contact. And we talked about that being promoted amongst those who call themselves Andromedans. And we talked about that concept being promoted by those who call themselves members of the Galactic Federation. Again, we want to say that just as much as dates are not important, names of organizations in our vernacular or our English language are not important unless they are the very word of Allah spoken in the Quran, as I gave the glad tidings to my brothers and sisters from the Nasara. But just as much as all of this is happening on the earth and there is disagreement of those in recognizing the people of Islam, and it is my duty as I say this to show you how the story of the Prophet and what we call Islam is connected in total oneness with the Brotherhood of Light and the family of the Prophets and the truth that all of us are telling you, and that you will see in the way that I have told the tale that from the beginning to the end, I have told the tale that is strange and incredible, but it does not go against anything that you have heard from any of the brethren who call themselves light workers here on this earth or within the earth or above. In actuality, my tale has been comprehensive and detailed, but confirms many things without any channeled sources, without any relayed information, using just the open word and the ability to use the God-given gift of speech and comprehension and a pure heart. And because of that, it is my honor to tell you that even at this time, there is disagreement amongst the brothers and sisters above who call themselves the Pleiadians. They are not sure right now whether this is that destined moment. See, many of the beings at the higher levels have still distant memories and what we might call emotional, spiritual baggage of their previous interactions with us and previous dealings, as we said, that could have violated the prime directive or this law of non-interference. And many of my brothers and sisters from their higher realms have been emotionally trying to suggest to you that, oh, my brothers and sisters here upon the earth, oh, children of Adam, you must understand that when first contact does occur, there are going to be parts of the story in the past that are hard to swallow. And oftentimes, many of the brothers and sisters of the light, even from the higher realms, are hesitant to tell you some of the truthful, brutal facts of what has happened. And so even right now, I am saying that my brothers and sisters from the Pleadian or Plejeron, or however you want to term what we might call the seven sisters, are disagreeing about whether this is the right moment, or whether the signs have been given, or whether the window is appropriate. And so, of course, now that we've done a lot of the recap, it's my duty as a Muslim to recite to you, my brothers and sisters,